Welcome to the I Saved You, Now Do the Dishes podcast. I'm author and speaker Carrie Severson. In each episode, I'll share stories and tips from my experience with caregiving and advocacy through my husband's cancer journey. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to I Saved You, Now Do the Dishes. I'm Carrie Severson. This is Gavin.
Hello.
And in this season of the podcast, we're talking about the difference between me as a caregiver and him as a patient. So the last episode ended with Gavin really wanting to talk about this one particular time I had to go to a pot dispensary. He was in a lot of pain. And it was the only thing I could really think of to help him get through the weekend.
I thought it was because you wanted to give me the munchies.
Right. So let me set it up. So it's going into the second week of his cancer treatment. He was not expected to escalate to the point where he would need narcotics for several weeks. So they didn't give him anything. Not even, like, the only thing we were using for pain at this point was Tylenol and ibuprofen.
That didn't work so good.
No, it did not.
Yeah, I was extra sensitive to the radiation, and it's like something that I guess aggravated in the sense that, like, they didn't easily respond to that. They're like, oh, it couldn't be, type of thing. And I guess what they were thinking is it's going to get a lot worse, and so we want to save fentanyl till later, type of thing, because the less you're on it, the better. So, I mean, I remember the gummies, and the guy was like, I think he said take a half at first.
Yeah.
Like that.
So anyway, so we went to the hospital on a Saturday. We went to the hospital on a Saturday. I had to force him. Actually, I had to call my mom and my dad, and they both yelled at him to get in the car and go to the hospital.
Didn't want to go because I kind of wanted to keep the bill lower because it was big bill, big bill, not big bill like a pelican.
And I wanted to go because I assumed the conversation would lead to getting him on our narcotic for pain. So I'm like, let's just go. They're going to see how much pain you're in. But the attending physician in the ER did not want to prescribe anything, did not want to give him anything. So they didn't want to give him narcotics. They gave him magic mouthwash, which essentially was like Benadryl and 2 other ingredients. It kind of supported it, but not nearly as much as you needed to. So then Sunday rolls around, 7 a.m. He's like, I'm ready to quit. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm in so much pain. I put on.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I was like, flip this, if I didn't use the word flip.
Nope.
Are we allowed to curse on this podcast?
Sure.
I was like, fuck this. This is some bullshit, if you see that Alien show. But because, I was doing my WebMD research too, so it was like, oh, radiation and chemo are cancerous, so they're fighting cancer with cancer. It was kind of the thing, but obviously it worked. So that was kind of the wrong way to look at it. But yeah, I was definitely like, flip this, contrarian point of view. And then, yeah.
You kept saying
your butt was on fire in the sense that you wanted to do more, and you got the pot gummies. And I was surprised. Well, one, they tasted pretty good, except that they had a little bit of a weed, obviously. A weed after flavor. I don't know how I knew that. I guess my friend told me about how weed flavor told me. That's not entirely true. Anywho, and I think you gave me a half at first, or did I take a full?
No, I walked in after 8 a.m. Sunday morning, and the only person in the dispensary, and the guy opens up the door and he's like, first time here. And I was like, yeah, my husband is in a lot of pain. They're like, oh, 2-for-1 special, specifically for cancer patients. So I walked out with like 2 bags, 24 gummies each of raspberry orange gummies. And then I came home, you were passed out on the couch. And I waited for you to wake up, and I was like, look, honey, I got you gummies. And you took the bag, opened it up, and ate a whole one.
Oh,
but it took you a really long time to get it down because you couldn't really swallow. So you were eating a little, you like bit an ear and then the other ear, and you had to like wait for it to dissolve in your mouth, and then you would swallow it. So it took you a while to get it down, but you ate the whole thing.
That explains a lot.
And then
I felt like I did it on like a Friday night or Saturday, and then I was stoned for like 3 days.
Talk about what happened after. That was like
I was on the couch, and I think I was up in top gear or something, but everything looked not looked, but I think I was relatively more entertained from that. I remember, I think like not instantly, but like took a nap pretty quickly. And then I remember it was really hard to get out of the couch. It was like 100-pound weight was on me. And then I think I might have eaten something, but
I can't remember
and
that.
I can't remember. And then I remember previously you did some marijuana oil, and then
Okay.
sometimes
My
I
mom
get
listens to this.
hallucinations.
Hang on a second, Mom.
Mom, what do you
my
mean?
mom is listening. Be quiet. Back when the microphone is right there.
Okay.
Amateur. I had a naturopath that gave me CBD oil in 2018, even before we got, I saw her for chronic stress because of your life. Anyway, CBD oil to help me fall asleep. Gavin, and it was a teaspoon. Gavin took like 2 tablespoons one night and then thought there were people breaking into the house.
Yes.
So he's never been very
Screen
good,
door.
even on anything like CBD oil.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I'm pretty sensitive to the marijuana.
But for that, the pot gummies, did it help your pain?
I think so, because it
Not
dulled
too
a
much.
lot of things. It dulled a lot of things, and it kind of was like a sedative. So it probably did slow down the pain signals to my brain. I can't remember.
He was on the couch for like 10 hours. He really could not move.
I remember trying to get out. I was like, oh, and it was just like incredibly difficult. Like, yeah, strangely so. Like, I guess that's the reason why potheads do a lot of sitting.
It was a lot. It was like the worst case scenario, because we tried to get something for him, and that's the crazy thing, is that we went to the hospital looking for painkillers. They gave us mouthwash, and then I had to go out and search and find an alternative method. So I ended up with weed. So we have these 2 bags, and he has such a strong reaction that the next day he did not do well. It took you a really long time to get out of the house. You were very
slow.
You were very slow. You
Slower
were really
than normal.
agitated. I think we missed like that first radiation appointment. You were beyond the point of like, I want to quit. This is stupid. I can't stand this anymore. But
yeah, I got in one of those moods where I think we got in a fight. I was yelling at you for some reason, and then you went to cafeteria.
No. I didn't go to the cafeteria. This is it. This is what happened. That was the day the very first appointment was supposed to be the appointment where we were going to meet with the radiologist, physician assistant, who we didn't get along with, but she was the one that was going to prescribe Oxy. And you didn't want to go to that meeting. So after radiation, you skipped. And I'm sitting in the lobby.
Oh, yeah, I did.
And the dude behind the desk comes up and he's like, hey, where's your husband? And I was like, why don't you know where my husband is? I'm like, I thought you had him. And he's like, nope. So we went running down the hallways looking for you. And like,
oh, you found me in the cafeteria.
Yes. And so then I find you in the back of the cafeteria eating yogurt that you put magic mouthwash on the top of so you could get it down.
I did?
Yes.
That's weird.
I know.
Doesn't really improve the flavor that much. It's kind of like a sweet
It's lidocaine. It was
Pepto-Bismol.
disgusting. Anyway, and I remember I had to we locked eyes, and I slowly sat down next to you, and I had to have like a moment because I was so angry. And then you're like, you just talk too fast and you go too fast, and I have a really hard time. And it was like the after effect of the pot plus the pain of everything. And I'm like, we need to get you on drugs. We have to go meet this person. You need narcotics. Let's go. And I couldn't believe that was, it's crazy.
I don't remember like that. I think I missed something and I had another meeting. And then I got perturbed because I went there. I've been there so many times that they didn't know me. They weren't like, hey, Gavin. They were like, what's your date of birth? And what you're thinking? I was like, how do you, dude, like, you've seen me 25 times. This don't need to verbally confirm, but I guess they have like a protocol where it's like,
date of birth.
yeah, it like like when you answer the phone in the call center, thank you for calling XYZ. This is Gavin in Phoenix. How can I help you today? And then affirmative Asian statement. Oh, I can help you with that. And then it's something that maybe or maybe not you can't help them with. But but I think that's how it went at this hospital. They had a protocol and they had to do that. But I was not understanding. I was thinking they'd be more personable because they've seen me 25 times. And that was because I was in that negative kind of FU mood. And
It's hard.
it didn't play out. I remember I was snarpy because I wanted to know the exact cost of the
That's a different.
stomach pump. That's some difference.
It's a
My mind
different.
is not
It's
exactly
every time we talk about
everybody's-
this, you go to a very different thing. This was so far. This was like we're entering like week. We could have been entering the second week.
timeline.
I think we were entering the second week of your treatment or the third week. I can't remember. That stuff is kind of fuzzy for me because it feels like it's a year when really it's just a couple months.
It did feel like a year. It was because it's like intensity. It's like when you're in the dentist chair and you're getting drilled, it may be like 3 or 4 minutes, but it feels like an hour. You're like,
Yeah.
and that was kind of that experience because each day was like, okay, you're gonna get tortured today. Like it's like you're gonna get a caning, except it was like the radiation thing, and that was so uncomfortable with the being pinned down for like a half an hour because you didn't get your straight doses. There were 3 or 4 different people that were getting it at the same time, and they would rotate between people.
Oops, sorry.
So you would get it for whatever, like 3 minutes, but you're still pinned down to this thing. It can't move. It's like it's literally. I don't know if we have it or not, but it's like molded to your face, and the holes are like almost like jersey holes, like the old football jerseys that had like you'd see through slightly, and
Yeah.
that type of thing. And I felt like it might have restricted the breathing just slightly. I'm surprised they didn't cut nose holes out, or that type of thing. Would have been nice if they did that, cut the nose. I mean, because it just, I don't know. It just felt like that would have been a wiser thing to do. I don't know. Where are we going with? What was your next question?
I don't remember, but
Oh, good.
anyway.
Doesn't just happen to me.
Actually, in my mind, we do have your mask. It's in this closet right here. And I'm thinking like, at first he wanted to make it into a piece of art and now it's just in this closet.
Yeah, I wanted to, because they had them on display. I thought that was a sick joke, kind of, because it was so uncomfortable. There was one, I think I saw the picture, someone turned into a Spider-Man
Yeah.
outfit. And I was thinking, because I, kind of a dork or just maybe selfish at times. I used to like to play Halo a lot, like 15 years ago. So I wanted to turn it into Master Chief, but I never got
We
around
couldn't
to
find
that.
anyone to do that.
That's true.
I kind of feel like when I look at things like that, because we fell into so many cracks and I had such a hard time, I have a very strong opinion of that experience. And when I see like people like making artwork out of so many people had positive experience and they praise their staff and stuff. And
I'm happy.
I have a different opinion.
Overall, they tried their best, and most of the people were really cool and kosher. Just that some of the teaching people or the people that didn't have a lot of experience or the ability to emotionally connect, there was only a couple people like that, maybe 2 or 3, but the majority of the people were cool. It's just that those stand out, like just like pain stands out versus just feeling normal.
Well, 2 of the people that we had to see on a regular basis, actually probably 3 of the people we had to see on a regular basis were definitely in burnout. And then when you went back and you actually had the treatments and you got to meet the technicians and the staff, you met so many other people than I did.
Right. The technicians were all cool.
You created connections.
That was one thing I was a little disappointed on, is like, you have this doctor, but the like I'm used to, like, I guess, personal care. Like, you would think the doctor that prescribes the radiation would be there each time, that we can check, how's it going, blah, blah, blah. But you have these third-party people that were probably paid like $25 an hour or something, not that well. And they all got along like fraternity brothers, even though they were, mixed. And they would play Bob Marley for me, which was my relaxing music. I thought I had to think about that. What would be relaxing? Well,
actually, the Bob Marley thing is something I do want to tell a story about. So when it first started, I had COVID, and then he went to radiation day 1, comes back that night, he tested positive for COVID. So he got to skip chemo that first
Woohoo.
week. And then I asked my mom to meet you at the hospital so that you could tell somebody there, because I knew you would forget, to have them play Bob Marley.
Sure.
Do you remember the time though that you came back thinking you had like super hearing? You thought the radiation was like making you like Spider-Man, where you could hear everything because you had rap music going in one ear and Bob Marley going in the other?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that one time they combined like death metal with whatever, and I wasn't sure if they were messing with me or not.
Yeah. You used to come back from radiation so wired.
Well, I think there is something to that. There probably is. It probably does. I mean, wherever there's glands in here that might release some kind of endorphins or what, I don't know exactly all that. And obviously, your head gland, so it's a possibility that something like that happened. But it didn't last. And then obviously the throat. It's weird how it works. Like it definitely was like you didn't feel it at first, and then 2 or 3 or 4 hours afterwards, it's like, holy, what? It's like when you get strep throat, like kind of thing, where everything's fine, and then all of a sudden it's not.
You had so much adrenaline running through you.
Oh, I know why it was that way. Is because the adrenaline of being
pinned
down and then being released.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably like someone is in prison and then they get to be released. That's got to be a euphoric feeling.
So we had this. I asked you once. I was like, "Why do you always come back nuts?" And you were like, "Do you remember?" You said this. You're like, "Do you remember Home Alone in the basement when Kevin sees the heater for the first time and the sound and the thing?" You're like, "That's what it feels like. That's what it sounds like." Do you remember that?
Yes, you're not wrong, because there's a real. It's like you can hear the machine, like the proton thing. It says, and it's some knocking sounds, like almost like a baton on a metal pipe or something.
Yeah.
So you're dunk dunk dunk, and so you can definitely hear it when it's being shot at you versus you don't hear as much in the other rooms when they're being blasted with the proton radiation.
So we had this routine that in the beginning of the treatment.
Let me get some water real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry, folks.
Here.
Oh, you sure? Can share your water?
In the beginning of the treatment, we would come home, or if I wasn't with him, he would come home, and then we would go walking around the neighborhood because you needed to do something, and we would walk to the mailbox, which is just down the street. And then when the pot was involved, it was
really slow.
It was really hard.
It was like you had to concentrate on each step. It's like
it was really
worse than old people in the cane thing. I felt like I needed that almost. Like
we went really slow, and
you held me. You always worried I was going to fall too, and you held me up.
You used to walk down. You used to walk down the hallway holding the wall. Holding the wall.
Well, I got to make sure the wall didn't fall down on me.
But the more. So anyway, so the pot thing. So we agreed. At some point, it was like a worst case scenario. It was going to be like the thing that you would take if you really couldn't sleep, or none of the other drugs. So he did end up getting on narcotics that Monday after the pot.
I needed it, definitely.
Yeah. And then
it was relatively low, and then they kind of upped it a little bit.
Yeah, but when it comes to upping, all that changed was
there are patches. Like were there pills and patches, or was it liquid and patches?
We ate all of it, pills, liquid, and patches.
Okay.
So you were given oxy, and then it stopped working, and then they were like, "Oh, just take it, instead of every 4 hours, take it every 2 hours." But so the gummies became something that was worst case scenario, and we had to like hide it in places, and we hid it in like, we ended up getting a safe. We hid it in my purse at one point, and then it really is like, what do you do with this? And so if you were having a really hard time, you would like bite off an ear and whatever, but eventually you were like, you've got to get rid of this. I don't even remember.
No, I didn't say you got to get rid of it. I kind of, you're like, you got to, like, I've got to get rid of this. Because I was like, well, maybe I could hang on to the drugs. Like, even though I knew it didn't, whatever, like it
doesn't work for you.
It doesn't really, but at the same time, I want to think it does. It's weird.
I mean, it works for you in terms of like I mean, it would help you sleep, eliminate your pain, but then you had really bad, almost like
Lethargic.
hangovers,
Probably
lethargic
a
the
little
next
depressed too.
day. It really messed with you. And so it wasn't the best thing for you. But we
Right.
eventually got them out of the house, and I don't remember where we put them or
A
what we did
drawer
with
right
them.
over here. Actually, I don't remember.
They're not
And then
still in
and
there.
then you
are they?
wrote no kid in there. There's something. Then you put them in a safe, and then you put them by your drawer,
Yeah.
and the second drawer. As I was a
He would
I was
go
a
to
drug
our
addict, and I
neighbor.
was trying to look for him.
I ended up having to put him in my purse that he never looked in, and then finally I was like,
It's always the purse.
I think I gave him to my mom. She's gonna hate me right now. Not hate me, but she's gonna be really mad. I'm gonna get a call like any second as soon as she hears that. Maybe I didn't give him to my mom. Maybe we just threw them away. I don't know what you're supposed to do with them.
Maybe give them to your sister. She'll probably call you to that. Even worse.
Anyway, so if you are going through cancer and you don't have any magic mouthwash or any painkillers,
Helps a little bit.
the nearest dispensary might help you.
Right.
But don't fall for the 2
Be
for 1
advised,
special,
it makes you stupid and hard to get out of the couch.
because you'll end up with 48 gummies that you don't know what to do with, because one bag is plenty.
Right. I don't know. It depends on the person. Some people, I know people are like, it actually makes them normal, but not me. For me, it's like a freight train.
Join us next time as we talk
Oh,
about.
are you done?
Yeah, we're done. Join us next time as we talk about, what should we talk about next time?
Should have. I know.
We'll figure it out.
She'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Or I could just, I don't know. I mean, we could, it definitely the.
Do you
we
wanna
could
talk about the
talk
feeding
about
tube?
drugs extended, like when they were trying to get me off of it, and then I
Actually,
didn't-
I do really want to talk about that, but not yet. Well,
Okay.
maybe we could, but that's something that people don't talk about, is the fact that like
I definitely got depressed.
getting on the drugs is to eliminate the pain, but then all of a sudden now there's this drug problem that we have to address.
Right. Well, I mean, eventually it ran out, so I couldn't get any more, type of thing, which was a good thing. The bad thing after that was that, like, I noticed, like, I think codeine or whatever the pills were, they made me put me in a good mood, and I was able to do stuff. And then when I wasn't taking it,
You were on Oxy.
I was I was depressed, and
Yeah.
so I could see why drug addicts do it, because they do that to put themselves in a good mood,
It was not.
type of thing. And then luckily, they ran out, and I don't have a oxy pill guy, which is also good, type of thing.
It's
So,
crazy. The stuff that you learn during this experience, the stuff that you have to manage, the stuff that you have to, understand, and it is fascinating that there isn't more conversation about it. So
It's interesting. We had to get palliative care to get that, which was a little bit scary, because when palliative care is like end of life care,
yeah, we had a
too, which is
conversation
odd.
around the difference between palliative care for pain management versus palliative care for
death
end of
management.
death management, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, thank you for listening. I hope that you've enjoyed our conversation, and over the next couple of sessions, you'll get to experience more of Gavin and what it was like for him versus me, both sides of the conversation. As always, if you're a caregiver, please remember that it's always okay to have someone else do the dishes. See you later.
hire somebody.